Bitcoin just hit 50,000 as GBTC outflows near zero. Is Solana going to follow up next to $126, accompanied by a free BONK giveaway? Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin and Solana daily. It's currently Monday, the start of the week. It is the 12th of February. You know how we do it. We're going to talk about the news, then we're going to dive into the charts. A lot of interesting development in the charts, so let's just zoom through the news segment. Starting off with the news for Solana. Now, of course, we've just celebrated the start of Chinese New Year, and BONK is going to be doing their own little celebration. Now, of course, this year is the year of the dragon. BONK has posted a somewhat cryptic tweet over on Twitter stating that the BONK dragon exists and it's waiting to be built by you. If you follow the link over on Twitter, you'll come over to this website, and if you click down here, Start the Dragon, you'll find this website over here. So, to start building the BONK dragon, head over to bonkrewards.com, lock a minimum of 1 million BONK, and come back to this page on February the 20th to see your BONK dragon. So, let's click on the link, build the dragon. But first of all, we're going to need 1 million BONK to stake, so let's just come over to a new burner account I've generated and get that. Let's put that swap through, confirm that, and then boom, we should now have some BONK sitting in our wallet. To be honest, the first thing you should do whenever you've got a new burner wallet is always take out the trash, so you just see Solana. Coming back over to BONK Rewards, let's click connect our Phantom wallet, and boom. I'm going to lock my BONK, I'm going to lock the maximum amount, so, you know, really, I like BONK, don't get me wrong. There's other meme coins, there's other coins that I focus on. I do really like BONK, but I don't have like a huge allocation to BONK, which is just why I'm going to stake this really small amount, just because I want to hit the minimum threshold in order to, you know, come back and see what the BONK dragon is. It's only 1 million BONK, so I'm going to stake it for 6 months, and this rewards multiplier is going to give me double the amount of BONK. So how does this work? You can see there is a ton of BONK that has been locked in the past few days or so, and I believe this announcement and this locking has sent the price higher. You basically lock your BONK to receive rewards from the BONK rewards pool. Fees are collected from the BONK ecosystem and distributed to the rewards pool, and the more BONK that's locked, then the larger percent of BONK rewards that will be in that pool. You can see 6 months is the highest lock time, giving you a 2x multiplier. Now we're going to click the lock button over here, and we're going to hit confirm. Once you successfully lock, you'll see the BONK exit your wallet, and you'll receive this random token called FYUJ. This is basically going to be, if you lock for 6 months and you receive the 2x multiplier, it's going to be double the amount of tokens as the amount of BONK that you initially staked. So in 6 months time, when you come to redeem this, instead of, let's say you stake 1 million BONK, you're going to receive 2 million of these tokens. In 6 months time, you're going to be able to take these 2 million tokens back and get 2 million BONK. Make sure you don't get rid of these tokens. Make sure you don't sell them, make sure you don't burn them, because if you do, you won't be able to get your BONK back. So my BONK is now locked for 6 months. Also, I'll let you know on the 20th of February when we come back and see what the BONK dragon is. I don't know if this is going to be an NFT giveaway or something of the sort. However, you know, come back on the 20th and I'll let you know. Moving on to the Bitcoin news, on Friday we had a very strong day with 541.5 million of total net inflows, and the GBTC outflows are nearing zero. If we come over to this chart and look at the GBTC daily flow, they obviously started off in the negative, and as you can see, this chart is moving in a very linear direction, moving to zero. And if we look at the cumulative flows of all of the 9 spot ETFs, we can see they are making new all-time highs basically every single day. So despite the outflow in GBTC, the cumulative flows are still moving extremely in the positive, thanks to all of the other 8 ETFs. On Friday, BlackRock saw 250 million inflows, Fidelity 188, ARK saw 136. So moving into the charts, the ETFs are buying clearly. Look at the price. Are you buying? Let's dive right into this. So starting off on the higher time frames, guys, everything is moving in the direction that we've been talking about. This is the higher time frames, the weekly, ignoring the daily ebbs and flows. As we were discussing, you know, we've flipped this trend line as resistance, support. We're coming up to the CME gap at 53,400. Now, if we come over to our next chart, you know, all of the macro and micro levels that we needed to see ourselves above, we are now above them. So, you know, this previous top over here, 48,600, we had a little bit of a, you know, couple of days or so where we were getting stuck around about this level, and we've just blasted through this. The 618 Fibonacci at 48,700, we are now above the 618 Fib. And if we're coming over to the chart on the daily time frame, the hypothetical diamond top formation that we discussed has now breached the upper limit as of today, within the past 2 or 3 hours or so. So 49,000's breached. We're right up now at 50,000. We were discussing the long entry on this on the 50 TMA strategy. When you had that daily candle body close on the 50 TMA, you got a long entry at 44,350. And ever since that long entry on the 50 TMA, we are up, 13% or so, 130% if you're using 10x leverage. So Bitcoin is looking very nice, and in my opinion, we're above the 618. That's the next macro level. The next major price target you should keep your eyes on is, of course, still going to be 53,600. That's going to be the CME gap. The next level to the upside from then, I really don't see any other resistance points other than the 786 Fibonacci at 58,000. I think we could be at both of these price targets surprisingly soon. So yeah, don't want to spend too much time looking at 101 million different charts, indicators. I feel like the narrative is very clear. It's the ETFs which are pushing the front. So keep your eyes on the news, keep your eyes on this channel. We'll let you know the price targets, we'll let you know the news, we'll let you know the developments. But really, if we just keep on seeing these inflows in terms of the spot ETFs, I don't think it's as important to look at 100 different charts, 100 different indicators. Like, the narrative is quite clear now. So I'm just going to present to you what I think is the only important data that you really need to look at. If you want to look at, other stuff, it's up to you, but this is what I'm looking at per se. Daily time frame as well, this upper trend line, SFP, very clear swing failure pattern. We're going to start heading up to higher price targets. So in terms of, I just gave you my higher price targets. In terms of the micro, what you want to keep your eyes on now, from this daily high down to the low, the next immediate price target you want to keep your eyes on is 51,600, the 1.236. Then you have the CME gap that we discussed a little bit earlier at 53,600 approximately. Then you've got the 1.618 Fibonacci from the daily high down to the low at 58,000. Then you've got the 1.618 Fibonacci from the daily high down to the low at 55,700. And at 58,000 right here at this major level, that is going to be, in my opinion, one of the most important levels that you're going to want to get above. Obviously the 618 more important, but the 786 at this region right here, 58,000, that's going to be the next major area of resistance. Because bear in mind, guys, if we just clear up this chart and come down to absolute basics, from the high down to the low, we've had a bear market and we are reverting into the golden pocket. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but a lot of the time, let's say in, micro time frames or, some different bearish coins, you might see a breakdown, you might see a reversion into the golden pocket before heading back down lower. So, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen in this instance. It is just something that you would want to keep your eyes on, because if you are really hoping Bitcoin just starts blasting to new all-time highs, the 786 Fibonacci right here might be the deciding factor. With that being said, we have been discussing the possibility of a pre-halving correction in Bitcoin. I haven't been saying it's going to be a brutal halving. We've been talking about how in my opinion, the spot ETF inflows, they're going to make that correction that we seem to have before or after the halvings a little bit less brutal. And nonetheless, Bitcoin's more mature, so I don't think the breakdown in pre-halving or post-halving is going to be as brutal, but nonetheless, it is possible we could just come up to this 58k, come back down to the 618 Fibonacci, and you could see some really nice long entries around about 50,000. Just a hypothetical scenario, we'll have to, keep you up to date as these regions develop. But yeah, those are my price targets. That's what I've got my eyes on. I expect Bitcoin to be around about 51,600 very soon. And then, of course, in the higher time frames, I think we're going to come up to this CME gap at 53.5 very soon. In terms of Solana, we're seeing a pretty similar picture, but Bitcoin's chart looks like it's leading the way a bit. From the high down to the low, Bitcoin is already above the 618. However, Solana is not currently above its 618 Fibonacci. The 618 Fibonacci for Solana is at $165. So could Bitcoin be leading the way? Could Solana be coming up to this price target very soon? I personally think so. However, the next major price target that you need to keep your eyes on for Solana is going to be this previous major top round about 143,000. If we're coming into the lower time frames though, you can see that it's very possible we start heading up to these price targets in the next few weeks and months. Looking at the daily time frame, you can see we got that resistance at the 618 Fibonacci as we previously discussed in our last video on Friday. We will letting you know the next major resistance to keep your eyes on is going to be $108.05, at which point you could expect a slight correction coming down for wave 4. Now, this is the updated wave count. This is the micro time frame. So you can see down here $80 approximately, that was the local low. Now you can see we had a 5 wave to the upside, we had an A, B, C back down. This was at $80 down here that we found this local low, and ever since then we've started a new 1, 2, 3 wave count. This is the new wave count that we're starting, and this is the microwave. So $80 down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was wave 1. A, B, C correction into wave 2. Now we had that 1, 2, and in my previous video on Thursday, Friday, I was letting you know I personally don't think this is wave 3. And we were saying this because if you come down to the 1 hour time frame, if you come down to the 15-minute time frame, I told you that, of course, when you're experiencing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave to the upside, the correctory waves, they have to correct some sort of trend. Not like a higher trend, but if you're looking at the 1 hour time frame and you have a 1 wave up, a 2 wave down, a 3 wave up, and then you're kind of waiting for a wave 4 down, that wave 4 doesn't have to break the 1 hour structure. It still creates a higher low on the 1 hour structure, but if you're coming down to like the 5-minute or the 15-minute, it has to break some sort of lower time frame structure. Otherwise, it's not a correction, it's not a correctory wave. This was more of an accumulation. So that's why I was saying in my previous video, I think it's more likely Solana comes up to, round about this 618, round about $108 before we see any sort of correction. And that's pretty much what we did. We came up to 111, overshot the 618 a little bit. We came above it, we came back down beneath it, and now we are back above it. So it's looking like we're now holding the 618 fib as support. This, in my opinion, was wave 3. This was a very clear correctory wave. What I was telling you in the previous video is this is more of just an accumulation, a slow grind up. This wasn't really a correctory wave in my opinion. It didn't break any sort of structure. It wasn't really any sort of correction in my opinion. This was a clear correction, and that is wave 4. So in my opinion, the local bottom is now in for wave 4, and now we should be expecting wave 5 to the upside. Now, what I think is very, very possible very, very soon is that Solana comes back up to this previous top at $126, and wave 5, or the microwave 5, coming up to the macro wave 1, 2, 3, right here, exceeds $126, maybe even hits $130 or something before we have a B, C correction. That C wave probably puts us, let's say hypothetically, we're looking at a few wave counts in advance, but let's say it takes us to, round about these previous local highs round here. And then at which point, you've got that ABC, wave 4, the correctory wave is done, and at that point we could be seeing that final massive impulse to the upside for Solana. And in the higher time frames, where do I think that wave could top out? Well, we've got a 618 fib round about 165. We've got a 786 round about $200, but I'm thinking that's just a little bit too soon. So, in terms of, this wave count, in terms of this 5 wave, I think it's more likely it tops out around about 165. We're getting multiple waves ahead of ourselves, but I just want to let you know, this is kind of the ebbs and flows that I expect to happen in the market. So right now, the microwave 4 has bottomed out. That is a very clear correctory wave, bullish engulfing candle pushing back up. In my opinion, we're going to be heading to above $126 in the next couple of days. I think we're going to be above this level this week. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. Lots of bullish developments, lots of interesting stuff going on. Solana ecosystem. Is there an NFT giveaway? Is it a dragon? We don't know. What's happening with these spot ETF inflows and outflows? Everything is just kind of lining up very, very nicely, and the charts are reflecting that. So probably see you at higher price targets tomorrow, my friends. Either way, see you tomorrow. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. As always, if you enjoy the content, smash like, smash comment, share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button on YouTube and become a member today. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I am out. Peace.